The Democratic Republic of Congo, a country 2/3 the size of Western Europe, 80 million hectares of arable land, more than $24 trillion in untapped mineral resources, 5 sites considered to be of outstanding universal value by UNESCO, the world's 3rd largest hydropower potential, and it is simultaneously one of the world's richest and poorest nations. So, how do we help the DRC to tap into its potential?
DRC needs to develop democratically, it needs to have a rule of law, it needs to have good governance, it needs to essentially take on the various technologies that can help it to progress and advance. We have an inclusive growth agenda as the UK. Essentially what that means is we want to help the poorest people to come out of poverty through economic growth and development, through initiatives like big hydropower. You know, big hydropower, unlocking that energy potential could unlock so much more. You have sustainable energy in DRC, then suddenly you have, potential for the tech industry to grow, for all sorts of other exciting industries to evolve. You don't have to rely purely on the mineral wealth. There are all sorts of diverse industries which could flourish in DRC if it has that unlocked potential from the core. And I'm absolutely convinced that with good governance, with confidence of the investor community in the potential of this country, and with a real effort to support inclusive growth, to train people to be part of industry, to train people to have the vocational skills, to be working in all sorts of various diverse industries. This is a country that can really thrive.
Can you tell us a bit about the extent of the damage that was done to the country in order to extract its mineral wealth, just how vital these minerals are to people in the West, us, for example, as consumers of mobile phones and other electronics, and how can it be that a place that is full of such mineral wealth is actually one of the world's poorest? I mean, surely this is by design rather than by coincidence, is it not?
Well, I think there are all manner of issues which have come together to create this extraordinary situation in which mineral wealth has been stripped away in DRC. And it comes back essentially to the issue of governance. It comes back to the issue of ensuring that the mineral industry, the mining industry, is properly governed. And unfortunately, DRC is a very, very large country, and governance hasn't been terribly strong. When you reach out far and wide across the provinces within DRC, there isn't a strong system of mining regulation and adherence to mining regulation. So you see a lot of not just exploitation by international companies, unregulated and uncontrolled, but you also see, lots of small mining interests and lots of small-scale corruption and issues around the mining sector. So the mining sector it's really a can of worms, but it's a microcosm of the bigger issues that face DRC.
What role do you think that the international community has played in the destabilization of the DRC? Because it's important for people to understand that it isn't this way by accident. From the reign of King Leopold II to the assassination of Patrice Lumumba, the first democratically elected Prime Minister, to the extraction of its mineral wealth. And sort of in that sense, what responsibility, what does the world owe the Congo?
King Leopold did resource strip DRC. It was the most extraordinary period of history in which this beautiful country was really gutted, I suppose would be one way of describing it. And since then, the history of DRC has, as you've described, been really quite troubled. and the international community has played a negative role in that troubled history. So history has played a desperately awful part in DRC's present. There's no doubting that. And the international community has not helped DRC in the past, but we all collectively really want to help now. And I work very, very closely with my Belgian colleagues, with my French colleagues, with my American colleagues, with a range of international colleagues, and we're all at one in our ambition to help DRC to develop, to grow, to have a thriving democracy, to have prosperity and to have inclusive growth.